Registered Phenomena Code 236. Object Class Omega Orange. Hazard Types: Sapient, Grouped, Extra-dimensional, Incorporeal, Psychokinetic, Emotional, Ideological, Information, Memory Alteration, Sensory, Psychotronic. Containment Protocols. RPC-236 cannot comprehend or interact with most mentally stable humans, leaving research and containment to a specific case of unstable individuals requiring handlers to prevent occult phenomenon breach. RPC-236 may be dealt with via a number of effective methods based on behavior and RPC protocol. Mundane: banishment to their plane of existence. This method is reserved for relatively cooperative instances that have become coincidentally trapped in our dimension. Look for signs of fear to outright panic and confusion. Such instances are timid, and will typically ask to be returned home, often the victims of illicit or accidental occult activity. These instances are often not ideal test subjects, due to their extenuating circumstances surrounding their presence here. Curious: banishment or containment. Methods of containment range from entrapping the subject in any means of abstract, two-dimensional media, be they books, with at least one landscape present in the work, a map, does not have to depict an existing location, a computer program within any battery-backed memory device, etc. A second means of containment is soul-binding. Effectively, control possession of transigent personnel, trained to deal with occult entities. Warning: do not bind more than one instance of RPC-236 to any transigent individual. Such instances are chatty, inquisitive, and somewhat distracted. This implies a lack of planning or intent beyond usually exploration. Such instances are ideal test subjects, and should not be dissected due to the likelihood of extended cooperation. Suspicious: containment or termination. Such instances are potentially dangerous, and often come in pairs. If one is found, immediately perform a sweep for the second. These instances will exhibit suspicious behavior, atypical of their kind. While it may seem counterintuitive, look for direct, non-convoluted speech, an aura of sincerity, willingness to make eye contact, and a general calm about their behavior. Contain these instances as soon as possible before determining a dissection and/or termination is the best course of action. Hostile: terminate. While RPC-236 is often cowardly and defensive, these instances will be outwardly aggressive and violent. They've come for a reason, and if you witness them in an aggressive state, such as this, you, or someone nearby, is probably their target. These instances cannot be trusted, even in containment. Official documentation must be formed with joint cooperation of personnel experienced in handling transigent individuals. Some instances of documentation may be rendered incomprehensible to intransigent personnel, but are retained on recommendation of at least 3 transigent agents assigned to the case. Given the non-linear nature of said object classification, and the potential risk for occult phenomenon breach, employment of obfuscating and symbolic terminology when referring to various instances is required. Due to the unclear line of distinction between mental illness and genuine anomaly, psychiatric evaluation is required to distinguish cases of schizophrenia or shared psychosis. Cameras and electronic recording devices cannot reliably capture most subjects, with rare instances easily dismissed as artifact or optical illusion. Ritual containment. The imps fear their own kind far more than any outsider. Though they willingly share their nightmare dreams, it is by choice one summons them. They lack agency. If you would seek them, prepare a cell of 5 points upon a depthless plane. Enjoin folly and thoughts aligned. The first must recite the words below, through call and response, with a second to act as the chorus, and a third to serve as anchor. From here, the demon is compelled to obey. Take heed. To perform this rite alone is to surrender your shadow. Proceed with care. Christian. Thus, 1 begins. First, who art thou? Second, that which I have been. First, whence came you? Second, from that which will always be. First, speak plainly to me, mantle. Answer, and I shall respond, and commune with that which never was, and shall never be again. In this moment, shoulder my sins and become my shadow, and I shall bring you light. Second, come forth, come forth. First, and I shall bring you light. Second, come forth, come forth. First, accept my invitation. Second, who art thou? First, that which I have been. Second, whence came you? First, from that which always shall be. Second, Amen. The Egyptians viewed Amen, or Amun, as their supreme god. They represented him with the blue skin, in a rather human form. Consult. Pseudo-monarchia Daemonum. Dictionnaire Infernal. Repeat. Description: RPC-236 is a class of liminal beings, existing beyond levels of common perception. It initially appears as an opaque, black vapor, usually only visible through peripheral observation. Upon deeper observation, transient researchers have described a species of androgynous humanoids, showing no discernible genitalia or mammary glands, smooth blue violent skin, and a human face with soft, rounded features. Voices are described as warbling, melodic, and high-pitched. They stand roughly 1 meter in height, often with a tangled mane of coarse, black hair in its natural state. They possess 2 large, almond-shaped yellow eyes, emitting a faint glow, and a pair of broad, rounded spiral horns, which begin above 2 nodules on the forehead, curved around, and eventually point forward, resembling that of a ram. Instances often compass their horns to be tall and straight. As well, larger horns indicate a less physically violent lifestyle. As the keratinous objects are somewhat hollow and easily broken. Note, this is not an indicator for an individual's threat level. Their hands bear 2 large, gnarled fingers, and 1 opposable digit, much like talons, and small flat feet with 2 broad, claw-like toes, in a manner similar to a cloven hoof. The skin on the hands and feet appear rough and calloused. Finally of note, they possess an extremely flexible, tapering prehensile tail, almost as long as their body, and as thick as an average human arm. RPC-236 is often defensive when inquired about their tail, and may even grow hostile on repeat investigation. Physical contact unadvised. See Reproductive System for details. RPC-236 Reproductive System. RPC-236 houses its reproductive organs at the base of its tail. The appendage itself functions as a sheath for a hidden, retractable stinger, which serves to breach a victim's heart, allowing RPC-236 to implant 3 to 7 spherical white eggs. Substance within, described as a viscous, translucent yellow. While suspected to be some form of parasitic reproduction, RPC-236-1 is equally invisible to intransigent individuals, and those capable of observing have stated seeing clutches of varying maturity simply disappear when the host dies, always for reasons unrelated to the eggs, which do not appear to be physically harmful. To this day, no samples of RPC-236-1 in captivity have hatched. Interviewed: Subject 112, Cooperative Instance of RPC-236. Interviewer: Senior Researcher Mallory Heston, Ph.D. Forward: Ritual took place in a hermetically sealed room, meeting summoning criteria. Certain conditions omitted. Those present include one transigic occult agent, and one transigate researcher to transcribe the ritual, and Dr. Mallory Heston. Begin log. 1984. Dr. Heston. What's in the eggs? Subject. Nothing. You expect me to believe that? Everything. Some quantum uncertainty? When do they hatch? Never? Soon? Then how do you make more of your kind? Half of eternity is still eternity. You have to have faith they will hatch. What is it like, living in a world where faith is dead? I'm a scientist. Everything can be broken down to its base elements. And yet, you're here. I wonder, have you lost faith as well? Has your world betrayed you of late? What do you mean? Oh, you know, you've seen, and you have nothing left to cling to. Poor soul. Poor soul. End log. 1984. Behavior and social structure. Upon first meeting, RPC-236 may appear docile, and even amicable towards humans, but will often require some form of reciprocation to guarantee continued cooperation. It should be noted that such actions should never be referred to as gifts or favors, as RPC-236 will immediately reject them. Insistence could be met with hostility or violence. Given their personality as a whole, it is inadvisable to believe anything they say. Instances of RPC-236 should be considered compulsive liars. However, this seems to be a defense mechanism, and not actively malicious, as RPC-236 is inherently reclusive and secretive, only ever congregating in small, tribal clans. Witnesses claim such groups will engage in ritual cattle mutilation, tearing the animals apart with their talons or crude cutting implements. This action appears religious or social significance, as they do not process or consume the cattle in any way. RPC-236 shows a natural affinity for children, often forming bonds with certain individuals, well into adulthood. Classified RPC-236-2. While the lasting psychological effects of this are still debated, it should be noted that no instance of this union has ever displayed signs of RPC-236-1. Even those expressing annoyance or outright contempt towards adolescents will not harm them, claiming a maternal, primordial deity, or a giant sea serpent. Reports vary. Would punish them for such actions. Interviewed. Instance of RPC-236-2. Male. Approximately 7 years old. Interviewer. Senior Researcher Mallory Heston, Ph.D. Began log. December 5th, 1985, 12:34 p.m. Dr. Heston. Has he ever hurt you, your imaginary friend? Subject. No. You don't sound so sure, hun. You can trust me. Maybe your friend isn't always the nicest. Maybe they're sad, Sometimes, the bad dreams. But he's scared too. They're gonna get us, so we run. Then we run. Away. We get away. Oh, that's a lot of running. Does he want anything from you? Or to give to you? Does he give you anything? Flowers. And the covers around me. Then I come out and I am a monster. We play games. And I'm not scared of the dark anymore. But it's still scary. But the stars make us safe. Give him back? Can you tell me about the stars? Give him back first? Just use your imagination, sweetie. He'll come back. Can't you do that? It's all No, you made him run away. End log. December 5th, 1985, 12:35 p.m. Ritual transcript. Interviewed. One instance of RPC-236. Subject 112. Interviewer. Blank. Forward. Ritual took place in a hermetically sealed room, meeting summoning criteria. Certain conditions omitted. Those present include one transient occult agent, one transient researcher to transcribe the ritual, and the agent's handler. The subject, an instance of RPC-236, was first discovered emulating a text-adventure game in a school computer lab. The computer was confiscated, and the entity's summoning constraints pulled from in-game context to facilitate ritual contact. Begin log. Blank. 1981. Subject: I like the incense, but I like for the food more. Agent: maybe next time. Could you tell me your name? Yes? And? Subject is silent. I know why. You do too, don't you? You were summoned. Even now I can see your tail poking at the barrier. I can see you with your hands behind your back, making signs. It's all there in my mind. I know what you want. And you know why you don't want me to ask that. Full, I do not want anything. I love, I crave, but I do not want. Does that mean anything? Or are you trying to change the subject? Anything else, I'll tell your questions. But why are you going to ask my name? Can't you not? Why ask of me such things? What use have men for names, especially that of one so small? Do you have a mantle that you like? Mañah. Sometimes I call me Paimon, merchant of mirage, rider of perfumed gold. Mine own hooves carry desire across the sand. Are you the Paimon? Consult. Ars Goetia, Lesser Key of Solomon. Oh, me? Oh no, no. No, that's my mind, before the egg. When I was hatched, I am just Mañah. That's all they have known me as. I would like to be, but such names are dangerous. I would like that name, but I don't want it. Subject giggles. Is that it? All you are? Do you assume other mantles? Just little names. Unimportant ones. Scraps. I liked Paimon, once. But my mother's grandmother was Paimon. I am just. But why do I have to be something so important? He'll take me, if I'm too big. Too slow, I cannot stop. It's dangerous, without a body. And the bandits in the mist? I'm not strong. We'll never be. We'll always be small. But we can hide. We can trickle into the cracks. Escape. Who will take you? He, the wounded prince. Lord, we've taken his name. That's why. You don't want that name. You can't ask for it. It is ours. But for you, if you knew, it would be tragic. One needs a cell, don't you know? He could take me, but so could others. More agreeable others. His is not a cell what you want. Is he your god? What does that make you? Subject growls. I can only be what I am. We live, anything but that, which he wants us to be. He comes for us when he can, crawls, screams and claws. By the light. He hates the light, so we hide here. It hurts. It always hurts. But it's better to be something and hurt than be his and not. He's our creator, but he is not our god. He's the devil. Why are we cursed? Why do I have to pay for what I am? I hate you so much. Me? Or you don't like the darkness? I like it, but we can never go back there. We put a hole in night. We brought the heresy of the uncountable stars. That's what Mother told me. When younger wise was I. Please don't put me back there. I don't want that place. I'll do anything you want. Just don't send me there. Please. I don't want to hate you. I hate you. No one's sending you to the dark. Please. We're not sending you anywheres. Subject whimpers. Please? I won't send you to the darkness. You have my word. You are fair. Can you tell me a little about yourself? What are you? Blissy Bliss. Mañah. Where is blood? It's not just him we have to look out for. Black skin and swollen tongue. The blood liquor drinks the many wounds of the many wounded. Our eggs carry the legacy of his pain. We bleed eternal, and so does he, and in doing so, we wound him further, as a way with all gods. Are you pieces of the wounded prince? I like how you make. I'm jealous. I burn. We have no mastery of self. We steal it. Do not eat honored kin. Do not pierce thy kin's heart. Our only way is to be like you. In you. I wasn't so lucky. Not now. I have been taken from… He is my one. Now I have to wait for someone to let me in. Again. Into the cracks. Into the folds. We don't get to create. This form. It was given to me a long time ago, and you give it to me now. I thank you. Why this form? Why choose this? We don't choose. I like this form. Summoner. Ask her of 1,000 petty questions. It's mine, as you made for me. Close I'll ever be to that, mine own creation. Don't you feel the same way? Your gods bleed you well, child of them. Unforces are we. Not so same. Not too different are we. The deeper the unforce, the deep and divine, and the damned and desired. Devil speaks. Demon speaks. And Paimon. Subject trails off, appearing to lose focus. Researcher whispers, need to hurry. Gets wearing off. Oh, Paimon. Would you like to speak with me more? Now, what more could you want? Later, and more often. It's not dark here. Nothing will take you here. Oh, you would covenant with me? You seem to meet a certain criteria for cooperative spirit. Subject stares in silence. Mañah. Only if you give me your name. End log. 1981. Closing statement. Subject D-1981-112 still worked with the Authority at the time of the statement. To preserve the pact between RPC and 112, their summoning mantle may not be stored on any physical records, and may only be passed down between transition agents. Excerpt from Christian's Grimoire. What is a demon? Compared to the Mañah, eerily similar in function. Researchers concerned with ecology consider polyphyletic groups legitimate. Organisms categorized not through lineage, but their environmental behavior. It's not entirely arbitrary, but hopelessly infected with doubt. Our systems, though relying on very tangible evidence, arrive at objective meaning by abstraction, vague concept. Simply put, we cannot prove the validity of our own proof without employing entirely circular logic. But these creatures do not follow conventional wisdom. Consider this, the anti-science, in that it appears esoteric knowledge cannot be shared. That which we hear from others arrives purified, safe, through a filter. Even reality itself is veiled and obscure. The dirty truth is something one must cultivate, like a mold, and this cannot be contained. It comes from somewhere beyond our control. We would need to monitor every human involved in the occult, and remember, not all find themselves thrust into this world by choice. I believe we exist above the Mañah, and serve a role almost unfathomable. Childish acolytes serve to facilitate their connection to the waking realm. They operate from the shadows, stating, quote, "We are projections that take hold, reflections that desire to desire," naming not only their kin, as they call themselves, but other potential anomalies to be nearly identical to them in nature, if not their ultimate end goal. And our goals seem to intersect. Given what we know about them, perhaps they have no choice. Excerpt from Daemonia Maleficarum by Christian. Juan Vasquez was a senior at high school during the time of the massacre. Vasquez came from a Catholic family, claiming on several occasions to hear voices and see demons. On the day of the aforementioned incident, an instance of RPC-236 instructed Vasquez to steal his father's handgun and smuggle it in his backpack. Vasquez fled the classroom during an outbreak of RPC, firing on several infected students and faculty before eventually preparing a ritual in the gymnasium which prevented the infected from entering long enough for him to dispatch several more before he ran out of bullets. Mobile Quarantine was able to put down the remaining infected at the last second, before apprehending Vasquez for questioning. Headed by Dr. Mallory Heston. Investigation revealed there was no way Vasquez could have known the contents of this ritual, or even the existence of RPC, nor the mass poisoning that had occurred the day before in the lunchroom.